Blog Talk Radio.
Always look up, never give up, and you will reach your goals. You're important, you're more than enough. And here she is, your host for Rolling with the Diva, Sabrina Williams. Thank you.
Hey, this is Sylvie, host of the Queen Sylvie Show on the Fishbowl Radio Network. Check out the show every Tuesday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can hear me keep it real about everything while making a difference promoting comedy and other artistic talents from the Dallas-Fort Worth area and around the world. Don't miss the Queen Sylvie Show. Ahala.
On FishbowlRadioNetwork.com. Jump in.
All right, welcome to Rolling with the Diva. I'm Sabrina Williams, I'm your host, and on the line we have Miss Jamie Morrison, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, and we're going to play a song, and then we're going to come back to the interview. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. So tell everybody where you're calling from and a little bit about yourself, and then we'll come back and talk about your book.
Okay, so Jamie Morrison. I'm actually calling in from Washington, D.C., but from Dallas, Texas. I'm in the Air Force, so, of course, this is one of my duty stations. And, yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. And you said you're in the Air Force?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Well, thank you very much. We're doing a special show on Sunday because Monday is Veterans Day. Veterans Day is recognizing all the people in all the military services, whereas Memorial Day is recognizing the ones who have died. So we really thank you for your service, and we really, really appreciate you doing that. So we're going to play a song, and then we're going to come right back, and we're going to talk to you and about your book. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Sylvie, host of the Queen Sylvie Show on the Fishbowl Radio Network. Check out the show.
Yeah.
All right, we're back, and that was Lady Cassandra. All right, we're going to talk with Jamie Morrison with her book, 16 Years to Life. And you have to tell me if I'm pronouncing the character right. Jayiah. Oops. We have Jamie on mute. That is not very nice. Sorry. I'm talking to myself. Hold on, we're bringing her back in the air. Sometimes I get overly excited. Let's see if the computer can act right today. Here we go.
I think I'm back.
Yes. Okay. How do you say your character's name?
So the main character's name is Jayiah.
Okay. So I'm going to read this. I got this off of Amazon. I'm going to read you the great post that actually somebody, a couple people reviewed, a person reviewed the book. Jayiah starts life off as a normal young girl growing up in a single-family home. She's the middle child of 3 kids and is quite content with life until her mother meets a special guy. That's when things change forever. At the age of 10, she has to learn to grow up quickly while helping with her younger sister. After the honeymoon stage was over, Reggie exposed her family to a world of drugs and prostitution. In 1 year, things have taken a turn, and she finds herself helping her mother not only take care of her younger sister, but also a newborn boy while fighting a drug case. They hope for the best, thinking that court appearances will soon be over until one day her mother never comes home. She now finds herself lost with the responsibility at a young age of figuring out how to keep the small family together. And ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jamie Morrison to the air. And we really appreciate her coming on. As you guys heard earlier, she is the military, and she's also a physician assistant. Welcome, Miss Jamie.
Thank you.
All right, so go ahead and tell us first, how did you come up with the title 16 Years to Life?
So the book 16 Years to Life is actually my story. That was my mother's prison sentence.
Wow.
Yeah. So
and
that's where the inspiration came from, the fact that I lived that life, and I kept it a secret for a long time because as a child you're ashamed to be different. And then as I grew up and became a woman, I realized that there's so many kids out there that are in the same situation that are ashamed because they're different. And I just wanted to share my story in hopes that the other children going through would hear the story and know that they're not the only ones.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing. And especially with the things that you've done. I know the inspiration to write the book was from things that you went through with your mom, but tell us how, as you went through that situation, how you were able to develop your own character and personality to bring yourself where you are today.
You mean just like as in how I kind of survived the situation?
Yes.
Well, it was hard at first, when you're young and that happens, all your guidance comes from your parent. And or my parent at that time, and when you lose them, you're kind of lost. So I bounced around from homes in my family, but it wasn't until I kind of joined the military and learned about structure and discipline and how to take care of myself that I realized that I am stronger than I thought that I was. And just learning and going to school, I just developed this strong personality. I just thrived off of what happened and wanted to share it.
And you're very unique, and I know you want to be inspiring for the other young people who are different in these kind of situations, but you're very inspiring to that way. So what was it like as you were growing up? How did you keep it a secret for so long, and you did have the responsibility of taking care of a younger sibling? How was that for you?
I had been taking care of my sister. She's 6 years younger than me, and I started taking care of her, walking her to daycare, getting myself on the bus at 5 years old. And it was kind of normal. It wasn't. I didn't know what life was for anybody else. I just knew what it was for me. But when my mom left, then that's when I went to live with an aunt. It didn't work out. I went to live with my grandma, and I just I knew that I have an older brother, and he's 10 years older, but he kind of was gone out of the picture because he was in the military himself, so I kind of had to stand up. I felt like that even though me and my siblings didn't have a parent to head our home, I had to become the, leader of our small family unit and try to hold us together as long as I could until my mother came home. So from the time that she left, all the while I was planning on how I was going to bring us all back together, and that was kind of partially the reason why I did join the military, because I knew coming out of that situation as a convicted felon, she wasn't going to be able to get a job and be able to help take care of, my younger siblings. So I knew that I needed to step up to the plate to be able to do that. So it was really just love of family that kind of drove me in the directions that I've been going in.
So can I ask you, was any of that influenced by being a Christian? I'm not saying you are, or any religious influences?
Oh, no, most definitely. Most definitely. All the strength. I can remember the night before she never came back home. She prayed really hard that night, and for some reason I was at 12 years old praying with her. My sister was 6 years old praying. My brother was 6 months old in my arm crying. And then the next day she was gone. And from that point on, I kind of just kept that going and made it a point to read my Bible and draw strength from my spiritual connection with God.
What's your favorite Bible verse?
I can't really say that I have one particular favorite verse. I think Proverbs 31 is the one that I really have embedded in me to live by, to be that type of woman, to be that type of person in society where it's not, it's not a lot of women that can live by that, so that's just the one that I hold on to try to aspire to be that woman.
Okay. Now I would say, you went through that situation, and I would think you would be a social worker or something of that. But what made you want to go into the medical field and become a physician's assistant?
So when I was graduating high school, I was real late in the ball game with applying to colleges. I didn't know anything about it, and I was kind of, because I didn't have the mom and the parental figure, in my family, I was kind of like cast out, just cast aside. But so I put myself in junior college. I always knew I wanted to be something medical. I actually wanted to go to med school and be a doctor, but after a year of junior college, I realized that I'm not going to have. I don't know how to, and I don't have the funds to be able to put myself into a university to go to graduate school and medical school. And so I decided to go to the military with the hopes that, of course, they do offer the incentive of paying for college,
right.
And then I would have a steady paycheck to help my mother when she came home. So I decided to join the military, and it was by the grace of God that I became a medical technician, which gave me insight to how the ins and outs of, the hospital worked, and I was able to talk to nurses, doctors, and physician's assistants. And then I just kind of realized that the physician assistant work was very broad, and you could go from, specialty to specialty. You didn't have to specialize and be stuck in one direction of medicine. And that's what really drew me in. So I decided to go that route with it, and the military paid for me to go to school, and I did it.
And just so everybody knows, that's one of my big things that when I do the scholarship shows once a year, I always point out to everybody, structure is a lot of structures in the military, but if you can go and get your schooling paid for and give service to your the country you live in, the more better for you. Also, like Jamie said, you have a vast amount of things to choose from. Now, Jamie, let me ask you now: do you still? Obviously, you have a relationship with your mom, and how was that after she got out?
To be honest with you, the crazy thing is her sentence was 16 years to life. She spent 8 years in prison, And my grandma is amazing. She's about 90 now, but that woman would drive up and down the highway to make sure, maybe at least 1 to 2 times a month, to make sure that we saw our mother. And I tell you, the relationship that I had before, it grew, and I have the same type of bond and relationship that I do now with her. Just very, very close, very strong. She's like my best friend.
That is really awesome and really nice to hear. And it's really interesting that your faith has kept you from being bitter or maybe feeling sorry for yourself. It actually has given you the tenacity to go on and do really great things. And I really appreciate your strength. What would you say to somebody, because you said it really great at the very beginning of the show, about how you want to help other people who are going through that and they feel different. What would be some things you would say to them?
I guess I would tell them when I was growing up and I was younger, and because of my situation, I was the black sheep. I was the kid in band that didn't have parents, that had to wear the hand-me-downs, or I had to, in all honesty, my god sister had to steal school clothes from me. I had to find ways to buy school supplies, and I felt down on myself, and I felt like I was unworthy, and even some of my family members were like, "You're going to be a statistic. You're going to be a teenage pregnancy. You're not going to, go to school. You're not going to do this." I would say that your beginning does not have to be your ending. However, life started out for you, whatever trials are happening around you, don't let those trials keep you in that mindset. Use those trials to show you where you don't want to be, and then elevate yourself every way that you can with any opportunity that comes up to further yourself, to pull you out of that situation. So that's what I would say, is that don't look at where you're at right now. Think about where you want to be.
And that's amazing. And I'm going to read Proverbs 18:10 in strength, because Jamie is just giving a very awesome testimony about basically your life will not hold you back. You're the author of your life. You're more than enough, and you can do great things. And
right.
absolutely, you're absolutely right. I see it's your mindset. And I know that people say, "Oh, that's easy for her." No, it's not. And I'm sure she can tell you great stories and horror stories. Go ahead, Jamie.
Yes, it's definitely not easy. I was going to say that earlier. You made a comment. I don't remember exactly what it was, but every day is a struggle when you're when you're in that situation. Every day is a struggle. I've had really low moments. It took a lot. At the age of 34, I'm 34 years old. I'm not ashamed of it. At the age of 34, some of the damage that was done from 12 years old was still there, just a few years ago. And it's taken a long process to get through some of the damage, but the thing is, you can get through it. It's not easy. You just can't give up on yourself.
And that is so true. And in Proverbs 18:10, it says, "The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous run into it and are safe." Nehemiah 8:10, "Do not grieve, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." Isaiah 41:10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." And my favorite Bible verse of all time is Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans to prosper you, not to harm you, and give you a hope and a future." And I'm really, really amazed and proud of Jamie, because as African Americans, as Hispanics, and as Asians, we sometimes do not talk about things in our life that affect our mental health or our mind, body, and spirit. But this book, it would be a great read for those people struggling with that, because you know what? It's not about being ashamed. It's about standing up and inspiring somebody else. And even if only 20 people read this book, which I know more have, she's touched a person to say you can do it. So what do you think, Jamie?
I absolutely agree. And I felt like when I was writing that book, it was very emotional for me, because I was just like reliving everything. And I did have to realize I was kind of mentally abused and neglected at times, during that point in my life. But something just deep down inside just said, if you just reach one person, one teenager out there that's suffering, then you did what you were called to do.
Amen on that. So I know that you have children. Now I'm going to ask you this because, see, I've heard a couple of things. You're in the military. You're a physician's assistant. You're a mom. Tell us as women. Oh, wait, I'm going to go back. First, your beauty secret. I was looking at you. Your skin is fabulous, and your hair is wonderful. Tell us one of your favorite beauty secrets.
In all honesty, I will say this. I like to keep things very natural. I'm natural. I don't perm my hair or put any chemicals or anything on there. I keep it very basic. And as far as like what I put on my skin, I actually make my own body butters, my own oils, and things like that. So I do wear makeup, but I tend to not put too much. If I can't pronounce it, then I won't really fool with it all that much. That's pretty much what that's my motto.
Oh, my gosh, I love that. Okay, so now you make your own body butters. I'm done with you. You get the hero of the century.
It's just a hobby that I like to do.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, you know what? That's a good thing that you said that, because I was talking today. I was writing about why do we always have to wait till a holiday to take a vacation or do something good for ourselves. And that's great. Hobby. I mean, I have a hobby. I like to read, and I like to actually really traveling, reading, and journaling. And if you guys have to remember, if you don't take time for yourself and you don't take time for just being with you, me, myself, and I, then how can you take care of everybody else? How can you feel good?
Exactly.
And doing a hobby is a great way, because when you're doing your hobby, you're so into it, but you're in your mind, you're thinking of things, you're processing things, and it's easier to process those things doing something you like, because you can't be of any good to anybody if you're not taking care of yourself. Right, Jamie?
Exactly. I definitely agree. When I'm mixing butters and I'm trying different butters and I'm trying different oils, and just by the way, if anybody's looking for an oil that's good for your skin, grapeseed oil. It makes your skin look really beautiful. Yeah, me and my mom, she puts it in her hair products that she makes. I put it in the skin products. And one day we were just like, your skin is like glowing, like pregnancy glowing. And my mom was like, I don't know what it is. And she was like, I think it's the grapeseed oil. And I was like, yeah, the grapeseed oil. So, yes, grapeseed oil. It makes your skin kind of have a glow.
Do you have a line of products? Are you thinking of going that way eventually? Because your products sound amazing.
I actually do. I do have a line of products, but I don't I don't keep them on hand. So it's more like I get into a mode and I make up a batch, and then I will, on my website, I'll put them up for sale. And then once they're gone, they're gone. So I do sell them, and they are in the shop in Dallas, Texas. What is it?
Tell us your website.
Oh, it's www.jamiejai.com.
Nice. And now I'm going to ask you this, because I think I heard you say you have a 2- and 4-year-old. Tell me how you balance your life.
Ooh, it's I don't really know how I do it. I just wake up and I live minute to minute. I just know I know the goals that I have for myself, and then I make them happen by planning ahead of time, preparing ahead of time, and then making sure that I actually proceed and do them. So that's the 3 P's that I like to say that I live by: planning it, preparing it, and then proceeding. So like food, I prepare the night before. The clothes, I prepare all the night before, or I'll prepare that weekend, the week's clothes for them, food. I have everything laid out for what needs to happen. And then, in all honesty, when it comes to, I do like to go into the gym. I stay in the gym, because I feel like I don't want to be a person with a square butt. So I try to make sure that I try to make sure that I stay in the gym and keep, not only your mind healthy, you want your spirit to be healthy, your mind to be healthy, but your body has to be healthy too, so you can feel good overall. And so I wake up at 3:30 in the morning, and I'll go out and I'll do me a 2-mile run. Yeah, or I'll lift weights in my house. I have, my own set of weights in the house, and or I'll take the kids to the track on the weekends and kind of do active stuff, with them, or I'll hit the gym whenever I have the time. I just kind of make it work how I need to make it work in my schedule.
Wow, you are amazing. And we're on the air with Jamie Morrison, and we're just so glad that she came on. Now, do you have another book that you may be writing? Are you thinking about writing more, or maybe public speaking? Because you have such a story to tell. I could see you as a public speaker.
I think that's where God is trying to, steer me to go. But, I just kind of stay still, and I let Him open that path. But I am in the process of actually clearing my second book for publishing. It's called Boots, Bibs, and Barbells. And in that book, I kind of actually do talk about how I manage life as a career woman, as a mother, as a bikini competitor, and as a physician assistant, with a few inspirational quotes in there. Just because us as women, we live a hard life, especially when you're juggling multiple things, and taking care of yourself kind of falls to the wayside. So I think with that book, my aim is to get women to understand that we can do it all. We can have it all. We can take care of ourselves. We can do this thing gracefully. So I feature a few moms in there, and they tell their stories on how they balance life as moms and career women and fitness, and give their favorite meals and workout routines and just different things like that.
Wow, you know what, that is amazing. So what would you say, as we get ready to close out, to a person who wants to write a book and feel like they have a story to tell? What would be a good starting place, and what would you recommend? How would you recommend they pick a publisher?
So what I did is, to answer the first question, I would say if they're interested in starting a book and they have a story to tell, sit down and just let it flow. Start from the very beginning and just tell it like a story. And if it's kind of not organized in your brain, start out by just writing the titles of the chapters. And then you just go in there and you fill in the information from each chapter, of your life or whatever the story is that you're trying to tell. And then after that, I kind of went the self-publishing route. She's kind of like my book mentor, and she taught me how to self-publish so that, I can kind of be more in control of the, sales and everything of the book. But I can't really give any advice on how you can go about getting published with another publishing company, but as far as self-publishing, it's not that hard to do it. You really don't need to have a graphic designer. You don't need to spend a whole bunch of money to do it. I think that's a fear that some people have, is they don't know how to do it. They think it's going to cost a lot of money and require a lot of themselves, and it's really not. All it is you sit down, you put your story on black and white paper, and then you just go to the next level of deciding how you want your cover to look. And then you can go through, I actually go through ingramspark.com, and they give you the template for you to create your cover. Then you upload your interior, like everything you do, they approve it, and you get it printed out. And then after that, it's your book to go put out there in the world.
All right. Well, Miss Jamie, I thank you for coming on. Would you like to give a shout-out to anybody, and also one more time tell people where they can follow you at in your website?
Sure. I'd just like to give a shout-out for everybody that came to listen. Just, take life as it comes, take the good and the bad, live it gracefully. You can find me at jamiej.com, or I'm on Instagram as well as under _JamieJ. So either way, they can reach out to me. I'm a nice person. I was fun.
Yes, you are. Well, we thank you, Jamie, so much. You have a great evening. You guys have to remember it's only 4:30 here, but the rest of the world is going on 7:30, soon to be 8. You have a blessed week, and again, thank you so much for serving our military.
Too, Sabrina.
I really appreciate it. And you feel free to contact us when your next book comes out or when you become a public speaker. And you have a good night. We're going to play a song by Lady Cassandra, and then we're going to come back to the second half of our show. We'll be right back. All right, that was Miracle by Lady Cassandra. All right, we're back with Rolling with the Diva, the first half. We had our special guest, Jamie Morrison, 16 Alive, where she talked about the true story of her mom being in prison and how she was inspired to keep going. Before we end the show today, I would like to remind everybody that 211 in any state in the United States, you can dial for referrals for domestic violence shelters, for counseling, from a monetary fee to no fee, for food banks, for dealing with family counseling, a teenager who you may be struggling with helping, or maybe you have somebody who is suicidal. If somebody is suicidal and you know they are, or you are suicidal and listen to this, please call 911 immediately and get to the nearest emergency room. You are more than enough. You're wanted, you're loved, and your life is valuable. God does not make junk, and He made you special. I really liked how Jamie inspired us about women, so I'm going to read you the epilogue called The Wife of a Noble Character from Proverbs 31. A wife of noble character, who can find? She is worth far more than rubies. Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the days of her life. She selects wool and flax and works with eager hands. She is like the merchant ships bringing her food from afar. She gets up while it is still night. She provides food for her family and portions for her female servants. She considers her fields and buys it out of her earnings. She plants a vineyard. She sets about her work vigorously. Her arms are strong for her task. She sees that her trading is profitable, and her lamp does not go out at night. In her hand she holds the distaff and grabs the spindle with her fingers. She opens her arms to the poor and extends her hands to the needy. When it snows, she has no fear of their household, for all of them are clothed in scarlet. She makes covering for her bed. She is clothed in fine linen and purple. Her husband is respected at the city gate, where he takes a seat among the elders of the land. She makes linen garments and sells them, and supplies the merchants with sashes. She is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. Charm is deceptive and beauty is fleeting, but a woman who fears the Lord is to be praised. Honor her for all that her hands have done, and let her works bring praise at the city gates. Women, we do so many. If you were listening to that, that woman is multitasking. We multitask for being a mom, a wife, a single parent. Maybe you're not married and have no children, but you're helping other people. We do a lot. Be proud of yourself as a woman. Be proud of yourself as a leader. In history, we have more than 100 women that were elected in this election. So be proud of us. Be proud of yourself. Encourage another woman. Thank you for listening to Rolling with the Diva. We're going to go out with one more song. But first, before we do that, I just want to again remind you guys you are more than enough. You are worthy. We're going to go out with Nettie, One Day.
I never did say I'm sorry for the way that I fought you. I never did say I'm sorry for not trusting things that you do. And now I'm looking back with a sad heart at the way things fell apart. But I know that you are here with me, and that your love never changes. One day you'll show us what you were up to, and then we'll see, whether here or in the heavens above, you will reveal more of your love. And the way you did those things that tore us apart, you will show us more of your heart. Yeah, you show us more of your heart. You will show us. As days pass, I can see your plans. They're shining right on through. As days pass, I can see your face. You shine forever, you do. And though the dark times they come and go, but Lord, you are always true. And every sorrow we're going through, oh Lord, we can count on you. One day you'll show us what you were up to, and then we'll see, whether here or in the heavens at best. You will reveal more of your love, and the way you did those things that tore us apart. You will show us more of your heart. Yeah, you show us more of your heart. You will show us. You will show us. 'Cause you've already shown so much through the death and life of your son. And so I want to say that I'm sorry for the way that I fought you, resisted all of your purposes, but Lord, you have made a way. One day you'll show us what you were up to, and we'll see, whether here or in the heavens above. You will reveal more of your love, and the way you did those things that tore us apart. You will show us more of your heart. Yeah, you show us more of your heart. You will show us.
All right, you guys have a great week. We'll join us on November 11th as we pay a special tribute to our veterans in the military. As I told you guys earlier in the show, Veterans Day is for recognizing all the people that have served in the military or presently in the military. We deeply appreciate them, and we will see you. And also on Tuesday or Monday, the 12th, we will be talking to Arthur Terry Morris, and she will be sharing her book. So we thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a great week, and a great weekend. Be blessed. Remember, take time for yourself, because if you don't take time for yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. I love you deeply. Remember, you're more than enough. I can't ever say that enough. You're loved, wanted. Be good.